A local LA reporter is tripling down on a massive blockbuster deal that would send arguably the best pitcher in baseball to LA. Also, the Lakers have made some contacts about some potential trade targets. The Lakers get a big win yesterday. A little controversy with LeBron James. Talk a little about that. Rams get a big win. The Chargers get a win. So much more coming up next on the LA Sports Report. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, subscribe, Dodgers fans. If you know me from my Dodgers coverage, we're doing a lot of Dodgers talk over here, live breakdowns as well, interviews with former players, lots of stuff over here. So extend the Dodgers talk over here at the LA Sports Report. Also, Lakers, Rams, Chargers, UCLA, LAFC, Sparks, whatever it is. If it's in the world of LA sports and people are talking about it in SoCal, I am loyal to the soil, and it's going to be a big movement. Getting close to 5,000 subscribers already in just a month. Big time. So thanks for that, guys. But let's dive right into it. We're going to start with the Los Angeles Dodgers. So local LA sports anchor David Pingalore, a guy who I know, I've been on his show. I know him. He's actually going to be on my show, Dodgers Dugout Live, tomorrow on Dodgers Nation, so we'll have him on. He was really the big story at the winter meetings because he had reported that the Dodgers had the framework for a deal for Tarik Skubal, and that you just needed people to agree upon it, and that it looked like it could happen during the winter meetings. Well, fast forward, it did not happen in the winter meetings, but that doesn't mean that David Pingalore is backing down on his original report. Here's the latest from David Pingalore on what would be the biggest trade of the offseason in Major League Baseball.
Week at the winter meetings for Major League Baseball in Orlando, I reported the Dodgers and the Tigers were engaged in real trade discussions involving reigning AL Cy Young Award winner Tarik Skubal, who was a free agent after the 26th season. Sources did confirm to me Dodgers president of baseball ops, Andrew Friedman, did meet directly with Tigers president Scott Harris as the Dodgers continue to explore major upgrades. Now, the Dodgers have both the high-end trade assets here and the financial flexibility to make a deal of this magnitude. It has to be perfect, though, for the Tigers to agree to such a deal. Now, yesterday, Dodgers starter Tyler Glasnow addressing the Skubal reports on MLB Network Radio. Now, this does not mean a deal is done, but it reinforces this. The Dodgers are not standing pat as they chase a three-peat.
So we're still in wait-and-see mode. Look, I mean, this guy has broken some stuff in the past. Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers. He also did say LeBron to the Warriors. He's been hit or miss, but look, let's see what happens. I think that it's interesting to hear about the recent development with Tyler Glasnow saying that the organization had told him that he's not going to be traded, so that either means that maybe the Dodgers are going in a different direction if they did want to include Tarik Skubal in a trade for Tyler Glasnow, because Glasnow still owed over $80 million. He's under contract through 2028. And if you were to keep Tyler Glasnow and acquire Tarik Skubal, look at your rotation. You've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tarik Skubal, Tyler Glasnow, and Shohei Ohtani. That is the murderer's rotation. That is a formidable five-man rotation that on paper would be the greatest rotation in the history of Major League Baseball. Now, Why would you trade for a starting pitcher if you're the Dodgers? Well, because the old adage is true. You can never have enough starting pitching. And considering the fact that their starters went a combined 114-plus innings during 17 postseason games that led to another World Series title, where your ace went in consecutive days in Game 6 and Game 7. Of course, I'm talking about World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The Dodgers' thinking could be that because of that, well, at some point next season, that's going to take its toll. So if you were to lose a Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you've got someone like Tarik Skubal, who is an elite pitcher. And now the Dodgers know that in October, you win with elite starting pitching. We're not talking about good starting pitching, great starting pitching, elite starting pitching with a capital E. And it does give them some insurance that if one of their top dogs goes down, they have another top dog that did not pitch deep into the postseason last year for the Detroit Tigers, or last season, soon to be last year. And he'll have a full tank. And he'll be a guy, too, that will want to pitch his best so he can get the biggest contract for any starting pitcher ever, because that is what's on the table for Tarik Skubal, a guy that could sign a deal that is north of $400 million for a starting pitcher, at least $350 million for him. So he'll want to be at his best with the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Detroit Tigers, wherever he's pitching for in 2026. So that would be the mindset there, because the truth of the matter is if you are the Dodgers and you are all the way in on three-peating, well, if one of those guys goes down and you want an elite starting pitcher, the chance of getting a guy as good as Tarik Skubal during the season, one, is extremely unlikely unless the Pittsburgh Pirates are willing to trade Paul Skeens. And two, even if you do, the asking price is going to be incredibly high too, just like it would be now. So when the Dodgers make big blockbuster trades, look at Mookie Betts. A lot of times it happens in the offseason. It doesn't always happen. We saw Max Scherzer and Trey Turner get dealt to the Dodgers at the deadline. So they've really made every type of trade. But when it comes to a trade like this, you would want to get it done the offseason for several reasons, too. One reason you would want to do it, on top of everything else, is if you are going to give up top prospects and top assets for Tarik Skubal, knowing that he is on a expiring deal where he's going to be a free agent after this season, well, you would want to see the entire Dodgers experience. If you trade for him at the deadline, he doesn't get to see spring training. He doesn't get to see the offseason program. He doesn't get to have time to really ingratiate himself into this Dodgers organization, this Dodgers culture. So think of it as a college football five-star recruit. You want to walk him through the facilities. You want to take him everywhere. You want to make sure he understands what you're about. And that's what the Dodgers could, in theory, do if they traded for Tarik Skubal in the offseason, is they could give him the full court press and give him the full Dodger baseball experience. That way, that even if he doesn't sign an extension before the season or before he's set to hit free agency, the Dodgers will have a better chance as the incumbent, knowing that they did everything they could to show him what it's like to be a Los Angeles Dodger. So do I think that this is going to happen? I wouldn't say I think it's going to happen, but based on people I've talked to, don't be shocked if they do make another massive move, whether it is to trade for Tarik Skubal, whether it is to sign Kyle Tucker. That's something that could very well be in play if he doesn't get the deal that he wants from a team like the Toronto Blue Jays, and he wants to get a multi-year deal with opt-outs to prove himself, and then he can hit free agency when he's 30, get another 10-year deal. So Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers is still in play. Tarik Skubal to the Dodgers is still in play. Cody Bellinger to the Dodgers is still in play. And it is going to be very interesting to see what happens for the next 3-4 weeks, because there's moves being made. Ha-Seong Kim went to the Braves today. Teams are still talking. The Dodgers are still very aggressive. Here was Andrew Friedman talking about the next move for the Dodgers after signing Edwin Diaz.
I think adding a position player, and ideally someone that's really good on both sides of the ball. We have some positional flexibility, so we're not locked into it has to be this one specific spot, which just increases the chances. So there are a lot of interesting guys, both on the free agent market and trade market, that we're having a lot of active conversations on. We feel good about something lining up, but may have to be a little bit patient.
So let Friedman cook. In Friedman we trust. That is what he does. And it's going to be exciting to see what this roster looks like, because it just feels like somehow, some way, it gets better and better every year. And imagine adding Tucker and Tarik Skubal. That would be the absolute dream team. I'm telling you, if Major League Baseball want to make some money at the All-Star break, have the Dodgers versus the rest of the league and see what that would look like. I dare guarantee that would sell a little bit. All right, so switch gears to the Lakers. The purple and gold get a big win yesterday, and they hold on. LeBron James, interesting moment with LeBron James and the free throw situation. LeBron James, he missed these technical free throws, and J.J. Redick wanted Luka Doncic to shoot those free throws. Here was LeBron talking about it.
Shit, I just walked into the free throw line. I mean, why wouldn't I? I mean, I'd have been okay with Luka taking it too. We've both been in pressure situations, but I just took it. I mean, unfortunately, I missed it, but I made up for it.
But the Lakers got the win. It was another Brooks versus LeBron. Of course, we know what happens when they go at it. But the Lakers are showing, hey, we are not the Thunder, but we might be the next best thing when we're at our best. And you look at yesterday's game, this is a Lakers team that got interesting in that one. They found a way to win 116 to 114. LeBron James, 26 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 36 minutes. Give him a C. Starting to look more LeBron-ish lately. Luka Doncic, 29 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 6 turnovers. Wasn't a great Luka game. Give him a C-. Rui a C-2, had 3.7 rebounds, 1 assist. He needs to get a little more involved offensively, especially early in games. And I think he's at his best when he's taking jumpers. And if he's not doing that, the value just drops significantly. He needs to trust his shot. DeAndre Ayton, though, he gets my first A of the night. He goes 20 points, 13 boards, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers against his old team, 10 of 11 from the field. Extremely efficient. He missed just 1 shot, finished with a double-double. I thought he was fantastic. Marcus Smart gets a C. He ends up going 8 points, 4 boards, 6 assists. Good defensive intensity. You want to see him get some more offensive opportunities with Austin Reeves out. Jared Vanderbilt, how about Vando? 7.7 boards, 2 steals, a block, and he hit 1 3. How about that? He's been DNP for most of the season. He's getting some playing time with Austin Reeves out. 7 rebounds, 6 offensive, getting deflections. I need to see more of that. Gabe Vincent gets a C-, 5 points. Maybe give him a C. Give him a D+. Jackson Hayes, give him Jackson Hayes an A. He gets 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He was all over the place. He did everything he was supposed to do and then some. He scored on all 4 of his field goal attempts, went 4 for 4. He made the best play of the game, that monster dunk that he had there late in the third quarter. How about an A for him? I give Jake LaRavia 6 points, 8 rebounds, assists. Give him a C-. JJ Redick, I'll give a C. A C for JJ. I mean, I think that it got a little scary with almost having a blowout win turn into almost a tough loss. You didn't want to see that. So Lakers are, I think, in an interesting spot. Of course, you got the injury to Austin Reeves, which you're still dealing with. But right now they're 18-7, and you're looking up at the Nuggets and the Rockets, and they're right there behind all the teams that are right behind the Thunder. They're right up in that bunch. And considering they haven't had LeBron, being LeBron for most of the season, you've lost Austin Reeves. Luka Doncic was out a big game against the Boston Celtics when he was celebrating the birth of his second child. So let's get some consistency. Let's get some cohesion. I think the Lakers are a move or two away from making things interesting and giving themselves the best shot outside of the Thunder to make a deep run. Now, the Lakers have reportedly called the Pelicans about Herb Jones, and that is from our guy, Chris Haynes, and that's pretty interesting when you look at the name there. The Pelicans really don't have to move him. He's just 27 years old. He's guaranteed to be under contract to the 2028-2029 season. He's got a player option for 2029 and 2030. So if they want to move him, they can wait till the summer and get the best offer. But it tells you right now that the Lakers are interested in upgrading this roster. I think that no GM around the NBA wants to be the Pelicans, wants to be Nico Harrison 2.0. But I also think that, hey, if the Lakers are going to be aggressive, they're going to try to make some moves. I mean, Jones is a top 3-and-D wing of the NBA, and he's someone that would fit in very nicely with this team. Mark Stein, he wrote on his Substack recently, we mentioned the other day the Pelicans would insist on a significant haul to part with Herb Jones, and Herb Jones is a guy who has his price point and it's presumed to be beyond what the Lakers' current trade means have. So basically, it's hey, they're in the store, and the Lakers are in the store, and they're kind of picking up all the shoes and looking at the price, and they're looking at the tags of the price, and they're like, we can't afford this right now. We got to up the offer if we want to get an upgrade from that standpoint. So, look, I think the most interesting thing about this is the fact that the Lakers are in the market and they want to get trades done potentially, and that they believe in this group this year. So that's something that I think is interesting in and of itself. Now, December 15th is right around the corner, right? I mean, we have this day is upon us, right? December 15th, and for many franchises, that's really the time you start to evaluate, can we make moves? What should we do? And the full list of players who can be traded now is basically the entire roster. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, Dalton Knecht, Jackson Hayes, Bronny James, Adu Thero. So, who can't be traded? Well, LeBron James is one of the few players that has a no full trade clause, a full no trade clause, so he can't be traded. Luka can't be traded until February 2nd, 2026. That's 6 months after he signs his extension. Don't worry, he's not getting traded. So, last season, they traded D'Angelo Russell for Dorian Finney-Smith in late December. That was a couple months before the trade deadline. They traded for Rui Hachimura in late January, weeks before the deadline. They got Luka Doncic a week before the deadline. So, you'll start to see some things percolate, at least on the rumor mill standpoint. And Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, would you include Austin Reeves for that? I think if you're Austin Reeves, why would you agree to re-sign with the Pelicans after they trade away their two best players? So that's why it would be pretty tough from that standpoint. And I think if you're the Lakers, you're kind of only going to trade Austin Reeves if you can go real big game hunting. We know who that would be. But next, we'll do a lot of Lakers talk this week. But next, let's talk about the Rams. Just ram it. The Rams find a way to get it done. It wasn't pretty in the first half, but they get it done. Early mistakes for the Rams. So we got our 10 takeaways here. First one, too many slow starts for the defense. The Rams defense really needs to get better in the first half. They allowed 17 first half points against the 49ers in week 5. Then 17 against the Panthers in week 13. They allowed 20 points in the second half to the Eagles in week 3 and 26 if you count the field goal for the return touchdown. Against the Lions, you give 24 points in the first half. And you look at the explosive plays. Jared Goff, 6 for 6 for 161 yards on throws, 10 or more yards with 2 touchdowns. Goff finished the first half 14 for 20, 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. The secondary needs to improve. They need to get better. I look at Chris Shula, though. The defense, the offense, the defense in the second half definitely, it certainly had those adjustments. In the third quarter, they allowed -5 points, and they got 3 and outs on 3 of the Lions' 5 drives. Like the defense in the third quarter was just so much better after allowing those 24 points in the first half. Give Chris Shula all the credit in the world. You started to see some really good in-game adjustments, the ability to get pressure and get to the quarterback. I think one of the big plays of the game there was Kobe Turner's sack in the third quarter. That turned into points and just getting those big stops. Other big takeaway, Blake Corum and Kyron Williams hey, best duo on the Rams from the running backs in a long time. And you're seeing two guys that are capable, two guys that don't feel like they're necessarily at odds or competing with each other. They're just giving everything they have when they're getting the rock. And I think it's, at this point, one of the best running back combinations in the NFL. That's how good it's getting. Kyren Williams, he does what he does. He had 2 touchdowns in the red zone. And then Blake Corum, he knows how to bounce outside. And he can get outside and he can run the football one cut and go. And he got that critical 4th and 1 on the second half where he's able to get that first down. Brings that explosiveness to the running game that we haven't seen with the Rams for years. Thunder and lightning is fitting. As a duo, they went for 149 yards on 26 carries, 3 touchdowns. Kyren now has 13 total touchdowns, and he became the 6th player since 2000 with at least 13 touchdowns in 3 of his first 4 seasons. It's the 3rd consecutive game they've had at least 140 yards or more between them two. They're getting better as they get more experience playing with each other in this role. And I think that there's no doubt about it. These guys are legit when it comes to understanding. It's not about, oh, I'm fighting for playing time. It's no, you keep me fresh, I keep you fresh. And that's what's helping this offense go to a whole nother level. All right, I'm going to take an L right here on Colby Parkinson. I did say Colby Parkinson was a bust last year. I take it all back. I filled out my Colby Parkinson apology form, and Parkinson with the Rams down 24-20. Stafford hits him down the right sideline for a touchdown. It also gave the Rams the lead for good. Scored 2 touchdowns. He's up to 6 tutties for the season. He had 4 touchdowns in the previous 5 years combined. He had a career-high 75 yards receiving, and he was just great. He's been great ever since Tyler Higbee got banged up and placed on the injured reserve. And he gives you a big-body tight end that can stretch the field. You can just throw it up there like he's a center on a basketball court, and the defender just can't get to it. So give him a lot of credit. Was it a touchdown? No. Did the Rams benefit? Yes. Did I benefit as someone who picked up Colby Parkinson on the waiver wire and am now in my fantasy football league's Final 4? Yes. And I could not be happier to be wrong about Colby Parkinson. It really is giving me visions of Gerald Everett when it was Goff to Everett back in that 2018 season. Similar vibes. Other big takeaway, Matthew Stafford, MVP. I don't want to hear about Drake May. Matthew Stafford is the MVP of this league. He was blitzed 51.2% of his dropbacks. It was his 2nd highest rate in any game that he was blitzed, and he went 14 of 19 on those blitzes, hit 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that is why you traded for Matthew Stafford. Because Jared Goff, with that same pressure rate, with that same amount of blitzes, there's no way he's putting up those same numbers. In the face of pressure, Matthew Stafford can still deliver. Jared Goff, you do that, he turns into Geno Smith. He turns into a mediocre to bad quarterback. Matthew Stafford has always been a better quarterback than Jared Goff, and quite frankly, it's not even close. And I think in this game, what really stands out is the fact that the Rams were trailing by 10 points in this one. And Stafford digs him out of that hole after a slow start. He had that freak interception where Aiden Hutchinson picked it off. And if he wasn't looking back a million times, he might have scored on that play. And the Rams were down 24-14. He was 11 for 19 with an interception at that point. The rest of the game, he goes 13 for 19 for 222 yards, has 2 touchdowns, had a massive throw to Colby Parkinson, which is making big throws all over the field. It was a game that I think locks up the MVP. And I think a lot had to do with the fact that, hey, we needed to drop 40 to win this one. And the Rams proved that you can win in a shootout. You can win if your defense is getting big stops. But, I mean, 14 for 19, 202 yards against the blitz and a touchdown. Matthew Stafford just led this offense to 40 points. And the Rams trust him with the ball in his hands, and he beat his old team in a big way. Without Matthew Stafford's MVP performance yesterday, the Rams lose, and they're not looking at the 1 seed going up to Seattle. He was massive in that one. Also got to give a lot of love to Puka Nacua. 9 catches for 181 yards. And he was just incredible. I mean, that was another explosive Puka game. I mean, now in the season, Puka Nacua, 102 catches for 1,367 yards. It's the 5th player in NFL history that has at least 100 catches and 1,200 yards receiving in his two of his first 3 seasons. He has 17 games, at least 100 receiving yards. That's the 4th most for a player in their first 3 seasons. 7 games, at least 150 receiving yards. That passes Lance Allworth and Randy Moss for the 2nd most. He is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He's a special player, and I think he's the heart and soul of the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, Matthew Stafford's the MVP. Yes, Sean McVay is the mastermind. Yes, Les Snead's the mastermind. Yes, Dan Kroenke gives all the resources. But I think the grit and the passion that this team plays with, I think it starts with Puka Nacua. Let's not forget, it was that 37-yard catch that put the Rams in field goal range before the half that really helped them, give them some momentum. If he doesn't make that play, they don't get that kick, not so sure we're talking about Victory Monday today. Not so sure we're talking about Victory Monday today. Those points before the half were absolutely massive. They gave a touchdown, 30 seconds left, and instead of going to the half with that, you get that 10-point deficit. It was Matthew Stafford that came up big and Puka Nacua that came up big. Didn't get a touchdown there, but it brings you within 1 score, and that was massive because they got the ball back in the second half. And think about this. The Rams were just one of 6 teams that have come back from a 10-point deficit on Sunday. And you look at that game, how wild that was, in a wild weekend in the NFL. Also want to talk a little bit about Sean McVay and how he's just continued to get better, continued to evolve. McVay went for on 4th and 4, 4th and 8 in the first quarter. Sean McVay's becoming more daring, more bold, and they converted on both. And they converted both those into touchdowns. And then later goes for it on 4th and 1 from midfield, gets that. Blake Corum, he found a way to get that yard on the touchdown drive in the first quarter. How about that creativity where Puka Nacua is lining up at the fullback spot inside the 5? I mean, the Rams are really locked in on every angle, but I think Sean McVay not going overly pass happy. That second touchdown, you had a couple of run plays called, and boom, you just smash mouth football, get in there. And how about 30 seconds before the half, McVay not saying, okay, we're just going to go in the locker room. We're not going to take a knee. We are going to get some points, trailing by 10 like we just talked about. And you get that big play there to Puka Nacua. So the play calling for Sean McVay, the game management for Sean McVay, being more aggressive, taking advantage of every single second you have, and not panicking. I thought that Sean McVay, instead of panicking and speeding the game up, he slowed the game down, and it led to just efficient drive. So give Sean McVay a ton of credit. And now this Rams team, the Sea Chickens are next. The Seahawks. And the Rams are the only team in the NFC that clinched their playoff spot. And now it's all about the 1 seed. Now think about how wild this is. With Devontae Adams out, he could be out 4 to 8 weeks. Sean McVay said he's not sure if he's going to play. I think Devontae Adams is in a spot where this could be a good thing for the Rams. Yes, you might lose, but you also give other guys opportunities. 12 personnel, 13 personnel. Continue to get the tight ends involved. Let's get a big Kobe Parkinson day. Leon the running backs, Blake Corum, Kyren Williams. Puka Nacua, big day. Get Tutu Atwell some opportunities. Made a really nice shoestring catch in this one. Everyone will be locked in and focused knowing they got to win one for Devontae Adams, because if they do, you get an extra week, and that will put him and defensive player, safety, star role guy, my man UCLA Bruin Quinn Lake an opportunity. So that's another thing to consider as well, is you win on Thursday, you get more time for Devontae Adams and more time for Quinn Lake and giving yourself a better chance to be as healthy as you possibly can be. I mean, if my man Phillip Rivers, by the way, you guys see the meme Phillip Rivers? This is what happens to a guy when you got 10 kids doing 6-7 all day. So he came back to play at age 44. Almost got the dub that would have helped the Rams. He almost beat the Seahawks. But this sets up a monster matchup on Thursday Night Football. And if the Rams win, they will have a 92% chance of finishing with the number 1 seed in the NFC and getting that bye and home field advantage throughout. If they lose, it will go down to 22%, and it would give the 49ers an opportunity. So it is absolutely imperative for the Rams to go up and get that dub and find a way to get a win against the Seattle Seahawks. Absolutely, they got to do it. But that's going to do it for this episode of the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, hit that like button for your LA sports teams. Lakers, Rams, Dodgers, UCLA, USC, Sparks, LAFC, Galaxy, whatever it is. I am loyal to the soil. I'll be giving you the best coverage for all LA sports, all in one place, exclusive interviews. I'll be going to press conferences and doing interviews with players like I do for Dodgers Nation, but for all LA teams. So join the movement. Once you get to 5,000 subscribers, we'll do another giveaway. Just comment laser down below. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. My name is Doug McKain. And until next time, remember, there's a lot of really good cities around, but LA is the city of champions. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.